Greetings and welcome to another episode of Wild Mouse. I am your host, Taylor Bartle, and today I have not one but two treasured guests. They are my fellow Sounders fans, my fellow independent wrestling fans. They are my friends Rob and Miriam Porter. Hey, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, not so bad. How are you guys?
Good. Doing well?
Good. Another interesting thing about today's episode, besides having two guests, is that we're talking about a ride that no longer exists. It does, but in a different form now, because we're talking about Splash Mountain. And not only that, we're going to be talking about all three Splash Mountains, Disneyland, Disney World, and Tokyo Disneyland. Miriam has ridden two, right?
Yeah, so have I.
You've ridden two as well?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
We went together.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because when I went to Disney World, it was already transferring over to Tiana's, but hadn't yet opened. So it was still construction when I went.
We got on it right before it closed in 2021 for Disney World.
Okay, yeah, I went this year, right? God, isn't time just like a complete mess in your mind these days? Like things that happened 5 years ago felt like they happened yesterday and vice versa.
Yeah, she just said 2021 and I was like, yeah, like 6 months ago. No,
right?
That was like 4 years ago.
Yeah, we didn't get like right when it got cut off, but they were planning on the closure when we went there. And I think we went on it maybe, I don't know, 6 months before it closed at Disney World. And then we also went on the one at Disneyland in 2022. Right, that was right before it closed. Like we went in October, it like closed in like January.
Oh wow, okay. So when you went, were people already like putting memento moris on the ride?
They had already, when we went in 2022, they had, how like there's portions of the ride that has like after you go down the little dips in Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
After you go down the little dips, there's like sections. All of that was already cleared out. They were already clearing out stuff for the Switch.
Weird.
And so you really only got animatronics. You got the song through the whole thing, but you only got the animatronics at the bottom with the riverboat and stuff.
So weird.
All the other ones were already cleared out. So
it was like something out of Greek mythology. You're just in like this river in a cavern underground with this like creepy cartoon song echoing in the darkness. It was super weird.
I mean, they could make a pretty cool like River Styx ride based on that.
Exactly.
But so were there like shrines up outside that people had constructed, or
not that I saw? Yeah, no, I didn't see anything. And people weren't even really talking about it very much, like that they were going to switch it over.
Nobody like bagging up water in plastic bags to take home
to
put on eBay.
Right. Build a little reliquary out of it.
Florida people are so weird.
Yeah. That's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I don't get the like affinity for this. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a great ride. But like when they announced they were going to change it over and people were just like, how fucking dare you? Like, I don't.
My whole thing is I didn't realize that it didn't open until like 1989. Because in my mind, it's always been there. It was like one of the OGs. And I was like, oh, then it really matters like not at all because it's only been open for like 40 years. Can't do math. 40 years. So why not change it,
35. Settle down.
35.
Yeah, I mean,
we just discussed how time has no meaning. So.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, just a little bit of history. This was originally conceived in 1983, which was not that long ago.
Nope.
Rob knows.
Yeah.
This was a creation of Tony Baxter, who, of course, is just one of the goats of Imagineering. Came up with the Indiana Jones ride. Just one of the all-timers. He wanted to have a new attraction to bring guests to Bear Country, which I think was then turned into Critter Country and is now Bayou Country.
Okay.
Yeah, it was basically like Country Bear Jamboree, and then there was a land around it, and it's like you can't really have a land with one ride. That's not even really a ride; it's a show, right. Basically.
Yeah. And it was always like tucked away in that weird corner that wasn't on the way to anything. So
Yeah, now that's where Winnie the Pooh is
Which I
I,
think they closed down Winnie the Pooh now.
in California.
Yeah, I think so. I thought I saw something about them closing it down and changing it.
I mean, I know they closed the store and they're turning that into a Tiana themed store. But I don't know about the ride. You might be right. I have no idea. It doesn't really make sense there anymore.
No,
Winnie the
it
Pooh has
doesn't.
nothing to do with the bayou.
and there's no bears for him to hang out with, so
That's right.
that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, so the animatronics from this ride were originally in America Sings, which was in Disneyland from 1974 to 1988, but nobody gave a crap about. So they were like, well, let's close this and do something with all these animatronic birds. And so they made this log flume ride, and I don't know why, but they decided to theme it after Song of the South.
Yeah, it's a baffling decision.
I mean, for people who don't know, Song of the South is a movie from 1946. And I think this is a big reason why people don't like that they closed it, because it's too woke. That's the whole reason that it was closed. And it was not that these people ever gave a shit about Song of the South.
No, not at all.
Like, I mean, aside from Zippity Doo-Dah, nobody knows anything about Song of the South.
I've never seen it. I don't even know where you could see it if you wanted to.
You
so.
can't anymore. It's banned.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never seen it, but we did have a book that had Brer Rabbit and Brer Fox, and we had one of those Disney books that was like a children's book that you read about the tar baby and stuff like that. So I did have that book that we had in Montana in the early 1980s. So I actually did read that
tracks.
story. So yeah.
Yeah, Song of the South is it's not overtly racist, but it's just very stereotypical.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the portrayals of African Americans, like, people think it's from the times of slavery, but it's not. And that's troublesome. Now, Splash Mountain didn't delve into that. There was no Uncle Remus in Splash Mountain. It was all just about Brer Rabbit and Brer Bear and Brer Fox. And is that all the Brers?
I think there's a frog.
There's probably a frog.
There's all kinds of critters.
Yeah, and so, like, originally this ride was going to be called Zippity River.
They made a good choice.
Yeah.
They made a very good choice.
Can you imagine being at the parks and being like, you guys want to go on Zippity River? Or...
Weird to think of it as being named anything but Splash Mountain. Like, just because that's like what everybody calls, like, it would be weird for it to be named anything other than that. Also, why would they do that when they have, like, so when did the Matterhorn get built?
That was an original, I think.
That was an original? Yeah, because, like, it makes sense that they're, like, all mountains. The Matterhorn Mountain, Splash Mountain, Space Mountain.
Space Mountain.
Like, this all makes sense. But Zippity River doesn't really roll off the tongue.
Yeah, Matterhorn opened in 1959.
Okay.
Which explains why it's always broken down.
Yeah, and a little terrifying that we even go on that ride.
In recent times, I've been on it once, because every other time I've gone, it's been broken down.
Yeah. And I like the way that when you do go on it, you can feel it like moving on the rails from side to side, where it should be like, I don't know, locked down. So you go around a corner and the whole car like shifts 6 inches in one direction. It doesn't feel safe in any way.
No, and for people like you or I who are over 6 feet, it's not a great experience.
No. Miriam went on it with her friend who was 6'10".
Oh my God.
Before they switched it to the individual seats, it was when you still had the big bucket seat and you were supposed to sit in there with the partner that you were sitting with. I was like, we are not fitting in this ride.
Yeah, there's no way.
No, they looked at us when we walked up to the front and they saw the size of him. They were just like, why are you here? Like, every single person, every single cast member, when we got to the front of the ride, they looked at him like, really, man? Why are you here?
When I went on it this most recent time, like, I got in and almost immediately I started to get a cramp under my leg, and I was just like, oh no, this is going to be terrible. Luckily, it went away like as soon as the ride started going, but I was just like, oh no, I'm going to have to ride this whole thing with this cramp in my leg.
Clearly designed for like people who just came out of a depression and a world war, not, us. So
So funny enough, the reason that they changed the name to Splash Mountain is because Disney had just released the film Splash, starring Tom Hanks and Daryl Hannah.
the mermaid movie?
That's the one.
The
And apparently there was a serious discussion about including Daryl Hannah in the ride.
So was it going to be mermaid themed, or were they just going to be like, here's a cartoon fox and a cartoon bear and also like a live action mermaid?
It sounds like basically the latter.
Okay.
And Tony Baxter was like, no, that makes no sense. Why would we have a cartoon fox and a cartoon rabbit and a live action mermaid?
Right.
They could throw her in that briar patch yonder.
Sure, yeah.
I kind of want to live in the alternate universe where they made the wrong choice on all of these decisions and just see where we're at. Like the Zippity log ride with Daryl Hannah in it. I don't know.
Zippity Splash River.
Yeah, there you go.
with an animatronic Daryl Hannah.
Yeah, so the compromise was they called it Splash Mountain.
It's a good choice.
It's not bad. That's probably the best thing that could have come of that whole conversation.
Right. And like, you know what you're getting yourself into. It's called Splash Mountain. You're like, oh, I'm probably going to get soaking wet. Like the Zippity River ride sounds like boring, like a Jungle Cruise type ride as opposed to like what it is.
Yeah, or maybe like a Grizzly River Run.
Right.
But not something where you think it's going to have like this huge, 50-foot drop straight into the water. Yeah, so plans were unveiled in 1987. And Disney originally said, yeah, we don't think Song of the South's going to be a problem. And I mean, I guess apparently at the beginning it probably wasn't. Because, it was the 80s and everyone was on cocaine, so.
And also, like, at that time, you couldn't really, stuff wasn't as accessible. So it would have been like, people would have been like, Song of the South, I vaguely remember that from when I was a kid and I enjoyed it. So it's probably good. You didn't have instant access to watch everything and be like, ooh, that's a little problematic.
Yeah, people were just like, oh yeah, Zippity Doo Dah, I remember that.
Yeah, exactly.
Jaunty tune.
So Splash Mountain cost $75 million to build.
Lord.
To put that in context, in 1955, when they built, Disneyland, the entire park cost $17 million. But I mean, in 1987 dollars, that's only $80 million. So really,
Okay.
this ride cost almost as much as the entire park.
That's crazy.
And it's like, I don't know, it doesn't seem that complicated. And they were reusing animatronics. So really, like,
Right.
it just kind of blows my mind.
Yeah, I wonder where I wonder if it was like just the logistics of all the water. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wait, did they already have pirates? They already had pirates, right?
Yeah.
So they already had the capability of water and the drop. I wonder if it was. I wonder what made it cost so much.
I mean, it is a very large structure.
Yeah. And maybe
Weird.
just, interesting.
I wonder, like, I haven't looked at other rides. I wonder newer rides, like, say, Guardians of the Galaxy. I wonder how much that cost.
Right, because that's just a reskin of an old ride.
Yeah. Or, like, the new
Rise
one.
of the Resistance.
Or, oh my God, Rise of the Resistance must cost over $1 billion.
Right? So much money.
The scale of that ride is so epic. And I'm not like saying, oh, it's so epic, dude. No, like the definition of the word epic.
Yes, exactly.
Originally planned to open in January 1989.
Well, it would have been appropriate for the subject matter.
But yeah, nobody would have cared then.
Right.
But was delayed to mid-February due to technical issues. What those were, I don't know. But was then delayed again to mid-July due to boat problems. Again, don't really know anything more specific than that. But test riders, which were made up of company executives, were getting soaked rather than sprayed, which apparently was not the intended outcome, but you still get pretty soaked.
Yeah. If this is the toned down version, I wonder how bad it was originally, you know?
I mean, what did they like actually did the log go completely submerged? Because I mean, I've gotten off that ride looking like I've taken a shower.
Yeah, and it's funny because like the big drop is not really what gets you wet. Everyone thinks it is, but it's when you kind of go around corners and stuff and the water comes in the sides, that's what really gets you.
Right. Yeah, because the boat sits so low in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the boats were redesigned to be lighter, so maybe they were getting submerged. They also increased the capacity from 7 passengers, or no, sorry, decreased it to 7 passengers instead of 8, and added an underwater scoop to keep too much water from leaking in. I don't know what exactly that means. Maybe some engineer out there can explain it to us. I don't know. Splash Mountain finally opened on July 17th, 1989. And to celebrate, they made a special called Ernest Goes to Splash Mountain.
That's the most 1989 thing I can think of.
I know, right? I surprisingly have never seen this.
Yeah, I wonder if it's on YouTube somewhere.
It's gotta be, right? Jim Varney, obviously, of course, played Ernest.
Mm-hmm.
And there were plans to install a camera this is when they added the camera to take photos of the guests as they went down the final drop. Those were finally unveiled in November of 1990. In 1990, Disney announced that Splash Mountain would be added to Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World. Construction started in 1991. On July 17th, 1992, soft openings began at Magic Kingdom. And then that's sometime that same year, October 2nd, the same year, it opened in Tokyo.
Do they say how much those ones cost? Like, did they learn from their mistakes and bring the cost down at all?
Does not look like it. It may have cost more because they weren't reusing any animatronics, because there was no America Sings at either Magic Kingdom or Tokyo, obviously.
Just grab some of the ones from like Hall of Presidents or something. Like, nobody would notice. Like, have Ronald Reagan singing "You Zippity Doo Dah." Like, it'd be fine.
That sounds horrifying. So in the late 1990s, which this is a very 1990s thing, Disneyland received the nickname Flash Mountain because when girls found out that it was taking their picture, they decided to show their boobs.
That does feel very late 90s.
Yeah. And I assume those people have not been back to Disneyland since. In January 2011, the Magic Kingdom received lap bars for its ride vehicles. There were no lap bars until 2011 on the Magic Kingdom.
It feels very
version.
late.
Yeah.
It feels very, very late.
Tokyo Disneyland received individual lap bars, whereas in Florida, there are 2 people side by side, which just before we started recording, Miriam was saying that she prefers the Florida version because you sit side by side.
It's true. The distribution of the weight is better in that ride versus the Disneyland one where it's individual and you get a better picture and you don't get as wet in Disney World.
I could see that.
You get the better picture because you're side by side. You're not all in a line.
Yeah.
And then we've had multiple experiences where I'm not a small person and I've been in the front of the boat and that causes the front of the log to go under the water. And then you get sprayed. Whereas if you're in the side by side, it kind of spreads it out and you just kind of skip off the top and skim instead of, submerge. So
gotcha. Yeah. Do either of you know if Tiana's uses the same boats?
I believe so. I've seen a couple like rides, like people like the test rides that they were doing before they officially opened, and I think they're using the same boats. I thought that they were going to upgrade the Disneyland one to have beach side by side, but it doesn't look like they did. Looks like it's the same single ride or single file option.
I wonder if the track is just too narrow and they couldn't expand it.
I thought they were going to because it's so much better.
You keep saying
so much better because I'm all about the picture. I love the picture, and so if you don't like. I can only convince most of my family, Rob and Lily, to go on Splash Mountain once every time. And if I don't get a good picture that one time, I'm not getting it again because they'll only get wet one time.
So you're a PhotoPass person.
Oh, 100%. Totally worth it. I would pay twice the amount that they charge for it. I love it. It's my favorite.
Don't tell them that. They will charge you twice the amount.
Yeah, they will. Disneyland will find any way to charge you as many times as possible.
And I'll probably pay it. Let's be honest.
So the story behind Splash Mountain, the kayfabe, if you will, is
I will.
I knew you would. Is a combination of several stories from Song of the South. It's about Brer Rabbit, who leaves his home in search of adventure, and then the bad guys, Brer Fox and Brer Bear, are determined to catch him. And so we see Brer Rabbit, he avoids a snare trap and uses it to trap them. He finds his laughing place, which was a big thing that Disney, I think there was a bar or something called the Laughing Place. Does that sound right? Am I making this up?
No idea.
Maybe. Who
All
knows?
right. Let's see. Brer Bear and Brer Fox catch Brer Rabbit first Brer Rabbit leads them into a cavern of bees. Not the bees! And then Brer Fox eventually catches Brer Rabbit and threatens to eat him, but Brer Rabbit uses reverse psychology, begging him not to throw him into the briar patch. Brer Fox throws Brer Rabbit into the briar patch. This is the final drop. And Brer Rabbit escapes uninjured. This is all portrayed through no words whatsoever.
Just song. And it's funny because you always think of Zippity Doodah, but there's like 3 or 4 songs at least all the way throughout.
Yeah, and that's one thing that is different in all of the different iterations of the ride is the soundtrack. So, I mean, starting off, when you're going through the queue, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't remember a real interactive queue in this one.
No, you kind of walk up those wooden steps, and then you just go down like a hallway.
Yeah. Well, there's like the overflow part is just around the mountain. And then once you get into like the inside part of the queue, then you go up some steps and then you just do like a back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then when you go down into like where you get the ride, then there's like, you're kind of like in the mountain, but there's nothing really in there. It's not like it's something to look at, but it is, if it is a hot day, it's cooler inside when you get inside the mountain. So
that makes sense.
Although I never go to Disneyland when it's hot, so I haven't been since I was like a teenager when it was hot, because I got to choose when I go now, and I don't do that.
Yeah, I usually go in October for the Oogie Boogie Bash. Yeah, it's not like Indiana Jones or something where there's like a whole bunch of crazy stuff in the queue. It like you said, it just kind of zigs and zags, and there's a little wooden tunnel you go through. I think there's a sign that says something about it. There's a 50-foot drop or something, and like warns you will get wet.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then I remember, like, as you're rounding the final corner, there's like a hole in the cave that you can look through, and you can see people getting on.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
And it goes into 2 separate lines, like, because the way they load the cars, they have a front boat and a back boat. So once you go down and you can see through, then there's 2 separate lines, and then they load the boats 2 different ways, I think, from the 2 different lines.
And that's not the lightning lane and the standby, right? They break you up afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you guys a hold out for the front seat kind of person, or you just take what they give you?
I always ask for the back.
Just so you won't get as wet?
It depends on who's in charge.
Yeah, it depends on who's in charge, which is usually her.
So do you sit in the front, or do you make Rob sit in the front?
Okay, so, well, it depends on who you're with, really. There's a system to it. If you're going on, so I like Splash Mountain for the pictures, and I like it for the drop. So if it's going to be like my first time going on it for the day, I'm choosing to sit in the back because I'm going to get a lot less wet, but it's not going to be a great picture. But if it's going to be like, if it's with like Rob and the girls, then we do, in height order. So Rob gets to sit in the back. Stella's in the front. Although now technically Lily's taller than me, so I guess I'm gonna have to switch seats with her now. when we go back and try Tiana's Bayou. But so like that's the way, but I like to sit in the front for the picture, especially if I'm with them and I'm only getting them to go on it once.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
So do you find that going ascending height makes a difference in splash? Because Robert was saying when he's out up front, he got the boat dipped.
Yeah, I think it does help a little bit, but like the last time we went before they shut down in 2022, we went, we had Stella was in the front, then Lily, me, Rob, and then there were two other people behind us. And we got really like so wet we had to change our clothes. And that was, but I already had planned it, so I brought extra clothes for everybody because I wanted to get the picture because I knew that Splash Mountain was closing and I wanted to get like a final good Splash Mountain picture. And I had never gotten one. I had gotten a good one at Disney World, but not at Disneyland. And so I was like, I forced everybody to go on it and be wet. And I told everybody that I would carry everybody's extra clothes. Is there because Rob will only go on it if he knows that he can either change out of his wet clothes or it's the last ride of the night.
I actually don't even mind wet clothes as much as I mind wet feet.
Dude, wet socks
That's
are
the
the
worst.
worst.
Yeah.
That's a form of torture. Did they used to give out ponchos? I feel like I vaguely remember that they used to give out ponchos, but I'm wondering if that
I
was only
know
when it was raining.
I
know
see
there are
people
some
with
people-
ponchos,
Yeah, I've seen people
but-
wear them on there.
I don't feel like Disney gives out anything for free. I feel like you probably have to purchase them.
Well, they give you Ziploc bags.
Weren't they sponsored by Ziploc? Like, wasn't there some partnership with them?
Probably.
Yeah. And so I'm sure it wasn't costing them any money.
I remember going when I was like 15, 16, and we made my cousin sit in the front. She was she's 4 or 5 years younger than me, and she was so mad. I don't think she even got that wet, but she was so mad that we made her sit in the front. And I feel like the front doesn't get that wet. Like I said, most of the water comes in from the side, so I feel like you're kind of susceptible no matter where you sit.
Yeah, I noticed every time I am in the front, you get that moment right after you hit the water at the bottom where you're like, oh, it's not that bad because it's just kind of spraying you in the face. And then the boat settles and the water comes in over the sides, and that's when you get soaked. It's not the initial impact. It's like all the weight hits and it just settles under the water, and then it just pours in from the sides and your feet and whatever get completely soaked.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so you get in the log. Like we said, Disneyland, 1 by 1. Magic Kingdom, apparently 2 by 2. Tokyo, did we decide that was 2 by 2, or do we know?
I don't think I know if it's 2 by 2.
I have no idea.
I'm assuming it's 2 by 2, especially if they did it after they did Magic Kingdom.
Okay, yeah, it says the ride's layout is nearly a mirror image of Magic Kingdom's.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's just the layout. So if
I
they
would
did it
guess
at the
it
same
is.
time as Magic Kingdom, it's probably 2 by 2.
That's what I'm thinking.
It's also interesting that it's a mirror image. It's not a copy.
Right.
It's flipped.
So it goes the opposite way. That's weird.
Yeah, so then like right off the bat, you start going up. There's a big hill right at the beginning.
Mhm.
Oh, my phone's ringing. Yeah, so you go up this hill, and this is, obviously not the big drop. In fact, there's no drop. You get to the top, and then you just kind of float around a corner.
Mhm.
And at this point, you're still outside, and you just kind of float along. It's a very kind of nice, calming thing.
If I remember right, there's not much happening. There's not even really like any animatronics at that point. It's just a mountain.
Yeah, I think there might be one, but I think you're right. I think it's mostly just kind of this leisurely ride around the mountain until you finally go into the cave. And then that's where all the animatronics are singing and dancing and doing all their whatnot.
Yeah, and you do a couple like little drops.
Yeah, like not even as big as Pirates of the Caribbean. Just
No.
very short little drops.
Yeah.
Which may get you wetter than the big drop, honestly.
Well, it's the water level is pretty high. It also depends on how many logs they're running too, I think. Because like I seem to remember when I went there in the summer and there was like a lot of people and they were running like every single log that they had, you didn't get as wet. But I feel like when I've gone in like February when it's not as busy and they're not running as many logs, it's like you get wetter because of the water levels higher because there's not as many logs going through.
Oh, interesting. I didn't realize that they like removed logs when it wasn't as busy.
Yeah, they have like they have different numbers, and they open them up because they, like they don't want to run so many that they don't have enough people to go on them. So depending on the number of people in the park, they'll add or take away the amount of logs they're doing. And sometimes I went there one time and they weren't even doing the second line. They were just doing one line and loading one log at a time.
Are you a like ride at any time of year person, or if you go in like February, are you like, nope, too cold?
No, I'm all year.
See, I am too, but every time I go with somebody, they're like, I'm not riding that. It's freaking May. Not May.
Welcome to one of the biggest problems in our marriage. My desire to ride on water rides and Rob's desire not to. And the fact that I always try to convince him, and then I usually do, and then he gets wet, and then he gets annoyed at me. This is the main. This is what we need marriage counseling for. This exact problem.
I think that's your biggest problem. You guys are doing okay.
We really are doing great, but seriously, like.
But it started before we were even married, and we went to Disneyland, and she's like, "It'll be fine. Like, you don't get that wet." And I hadn't been to Disney in years at that point, so I'm like, "Well, she knows. She goes all the time." It wasn't true at all. I got soaked. And then we went to Disney World, and we went on Grizzly River Run, and she's like, "It'll be fine. It's not that bad." I got soaked. Then we went to Splash Mountain the next day. Every time we go, she's always like, "It's fine. You won't get wet." And every time I get soaked. So now I don't believe her, and I just prepare, and it's fine. But there was a lot of years there where it was a source of strife.
Grizzly River gets you wet. That one will mess you up.
So I know we're not talking about it, but we'll go on a brief sidebar here. We went on it it was like February, so the park was pretty empty at Disney World. Was that what it was called? Was it the Grizzly River Run at Disney World? The one in Animal Kingdom, I think. Anyways.
Kingdom. Yeah, I don't remember what the water ride in Animal Kingdom's called, but
it's very similar. It's very similar to the Grizzly River Run, and it was Miriam and I, and then two like 12-year-olds in a boat that's meant to hold like 10 people, right? So we're sitting on opposite sides of each other, and it comes to the big drop, and the weight distribution is very uneven. So as we go over the drop, I can feel myself like swinging to the bottom. And so we hit with our backs going in the water, and then the water literally broke over the top of my head.
Oh my
so
gosh.
we were soaked from head to foot, just completely. And then it's Florida, so it's super humid, so we never dried, and we were like soaked the rest of the day. Yeah, that one was really rough, but you know what? We were at Disney, so we made it work.
Yeah, it's Cali River Rapids.
Yes, that's the one. Thank you.
Yeah, I remember going on Grizzly River Run and telling my friend, I was like, make sure you sit in the middle, because if you sit on the edges, that's where you're going to get the most wet, because you're right next to the openings. And so I get in and I sit in the middle, and the guy goes, "No, you got to go all the way in." And I'm just like, "No,
but
I don't want to." And so then, of course, my friend gets in and sits right next to me, and he's just like, "Ha ha ha ha." So you kind of think that the big drop is the end of the ride, but it's surprisingly not. Like, you go down the big drop into the briar patch, and then you go around another corner, and then there's this big, huge song and dance where you got all these different animals. This is like all the birds and foxes and everything from America Sings, and they're on a big, giant riverboat, and they're singing, what's the name of this song?
That's Zippity Doo-Dah, I believe.
I guess, yeah, you're right. It is just Zippity Doo-Dah. Yeah. I don't know why I thought it was something else. Did they change it? Or am I just spacing out?
I don't know. Like I said, there's like 3 or 4 different songs through there. So
yeah, but no, you're right. This is where they sing Zippity Doo-Dah. It's over 75 voices. I don't think it's 75 animatronics. But yeah, 75 cast members used to record the final score, recorded in the company's Burbank studios in 1987.
And they've been using that same one all these years?
It seems like it, yeah. Just a bunch of ghost voices.
I wonder what medium it's on. Is it like cassette?
Yeah, right? Is it old reel-to-reel?
1987, so it could have been like an 8-track or like vinyl.
I would love if it was just a cassette and there was just some guy in a back room just like, click, play.
His job at Disney.
And every once in a while, he has to like turn it over to the other side.
Right. Get the pencil and like wind the tape back into the cassette and slam it back in real quick.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, speaking of the soundtrack, as you said, there's different songs. And as I said earlier, there's different songs in each version. The Disneyland version starts out with How Do You Do, recorded specifically for the ride by the Floozies, which is a 29-piece band.
Okay.
Like,
Necessary.
I love ska, and there's a lot of people in ska bands, but I've never seen a 29-piece band in my life.
I would love to hear a ska version of How Do You Do.
I would love to hear a ska version of Zippity Doo Dah while we're at it.
Yeah,
there's got to be one out there, right?
We should check the internet after this and track one down.
Have you ever heard the Real Big Fish version of the Main Street Electrical Parade?
No, but now I want to.
It's pretty amazing. 29-piece band from Oregon, actually.
Local-ish connection.
Yeah, Pacific Northwest. The backing track of Bomb 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 Bomb, that can be heard coming from the Bulldogs, in accompaniment to the lyrics sung by the Geese, was sung by 13 of the 29 members. Walter Stephen Sim Hergel is the band's lead vocalist.
And that's all one name?
It's Walter Stephen, and then his nickname is Sim, and his last name is Hergel.
Hergel, okay.
His voice can be heard singing most of the words, while his fellow band members provided harmony and backing vocals. One of the Bullfrogs was voiced by veteran voice actor Thurl Ravencroft, who you may know as Tony the Tiger.
I feel like he's in an animated movie.
Probably
like one of the animated Christmas movies that we watch every year. Because I recognize that name and it's super weird.
Well, he's in Pinocchio. He's
The Brave Little Toaster.
He's in Dumbo, Alice in Wonderland, Peter Pan. You say Brave Little Toaster? Who do you play in that? Kirby. Is that the vacuum?
Must be.
Brave Little Toaster to the rescue. Brave Little Toaster goes to Mars.
I was about to say, why do you know so much about the Brave Little Toaster? But
I am looking at Wikipedia. Don't get me wrong. I love Brave Little Toaster.
Oh yeah, he was the guy who sang the "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch" in the original animated version. That's where I know that name from.
So the next two songs at the Disneyland version are "Everybody Has a Laughing Place," and that's everybody, everybody.
So it was written by like Nelly.
They're sung by Eliza, Georgia, and Castle Newton, three sisters from California. And then the next song is Burroughs' Lament, mainly sung by B.J. Ward. Not sure who that is. The vultures above the final lift were voiced by Jess Harnell, who is best known as Wacko from Animaniacs. And then, of course, Zippity Doo Dah. Magic Kingdom looks like it has the same songs. It says, how do you do? Everybody's got a laughing place. Oh, I guess it doesn't have Burroughs' Lament. But in the queue, there's an instrumental version of That's What Uncle Remus Said. Let the rain pour down, and sooner or later. I assume that's not the... who sings that song? Sooner or later, your legs give way, you hit the ground. Probably not that song.
Probably not.
Tokyo Disneyland has main melodies consisting of banjos, fiddles, and harmonicas, but the vocals are completely different. Probably because they're in Japanese.
Probably.
That's one thing. I went to Disneyland Paris earlier this year, and most of the stuff is in English and French. Like Haunted Mansion is all in English and French. Some of it is in just English. And they do their best. But from what I understand, and maybe Miriam, you can speak to this, the Asian Disney parks are like, fuck you, Americans, we're speaking our language over here.
Yeah, most of Hong Kong Disney is there is a lot of English there just because of it's in Hong Kong, and Hong Kong was occupied by the British for so long. But there is a lot of Chinese, and it's funny too because there's Mandarin and then also Cantonese, so they have to choose which one they want to do. So yeah, it's interesting.
Okay, I thought you were going to say so it's in two languages you don't understand.
Well, I mean, oftentimes I couldn't tell if they were speaking Mandarin or Cantonese, so There'd be
Yeah, I
times where
mean, I
I know
couldn't tell you
that
the difference.
you're like, I know that's Chinese, but well, Mandarin has 4 tones and Cantonese has 8.
Okay,
So
that doesn't help me.
well, it doesn't really help me either, but that's one of the main differences between the two languages.
So yeah, the voice cast is actually looks like Jess Harnell, who, as I said, was Wacko. He did Brer Rabbit, Mr. Bluebird, Geese, Boot Hill Boys, and Brer Terrapin, which is a turtle for people who don't watch Maryland sports. Let's see, any other notes or people of note? Brer Bear, voiced by Jess Harnell and Nick Stewart, who was best known as Lightnin' on the Amos and Andy show. That's a little before my time.
Yeah, that's super old.
Whoa! The Magic Kingdom version, Brer Bear, is voiced by Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
That's a get.
Mother Possum and Mother Rabbit, voiced by Betty Jean Ward. Don't know who that is. So, I don't know. Whatever. And have you guys seen the plans for, it's not called Splash Mountain, but it clearly is a Splash Mountain ride in Disneyland Paris?
No.
It is Lion King themed.
Okay.
It
So
looks...
they didn't go with Tiana.
No, and it's funny because Tokyo is not doing Tiana. They are sticking with Splash Mountain.
Interesting.
I mean, I guess it doesn't have the same kind of stigma over there.
Yeah, they probably don't care at all.
Yeah. They're like, why should we change it?
They probably get a lot of, I don't know, like, at least in China, a lot of the things that are like very American are like really, really popular. So my guess is the concept of Splash Mountain is so American and iconic that changing it would actually diminish its value, I think.
It could be, yeah. That's a valid point.
Ooh, that looks great.
Yeah, so I'm showing you guys the Disneyland Paris version now. Yeah, it's like Pride Rock, and you come out right next to it, and you see, I don't know if that's Mufasa or Simba, but just hanging out there at the end of Pride Rock. Looks like some of the other characters are... It does look like it's based on the live action Lion King, which I am not huge on.
Certainly a choice.
Did you guys like that?
It just wasn't necessary. Like who watched the first version of Lion King and was like, you know what? I like this okay, but what I really needed is for be real animals. Like no one ever said that.
Yeah, my biggest problem with it is that real animals don't show emotion. And so it's like all this excitement going on or anger or whatever the thing is, and they just look like a lion talking. It just looks like they took a nature documentary and put a voiceover on it. They could have gone kind of, Hidden Valley, or not Hidden Valley, that's a salad dressing.
Uncanny Valley?
There you go, that's the one.
Yeah.
They could kind of Uncanny Valley and have, like real lions, but have them almost have cartoonish faces. And I think that would have been more successful. I probably won't see the new one.
Yeah, that one feels even more unnecessary. Like,
yeah.
we don't need Mufasa's secret backstory.
Yeah, that's... Even if it was a cartoon, I'm like, why?
Right.
If anything, give us more Timon and Pumbaa.
Correct.
Yeah, so that's what they're building in Paris, and that looks pretty cool. And it's like, now that I see this, I'm like, oh man, that's what they should have done instead of Tiana.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, no offense to Tiana, The Princess and the Frog, I'm not the target demographic. It's a cute movie.
Maybe they feel like it fits better in that land because they have the New Orleans Square and the Haunted Mansion. It kind of fits that theme a little bit better.
Yeah, I kind of wondered if instead of doing this whole Bayou Country, if they were going to like annex Critter Country into New Orleans Square. That seemed like it would have made more sense to me. But I mean, it is right next to New Orleans Square. So having the Bayou right next to New Orleans does make a lot of sense.
Right. It's kind of a natural flow from the pirates through the square into Tiana. And then they have the riverboat and all that. So
yeah. And then also Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
Of course.
Also Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh is also there. So what is you guys' connection to Splash Mountain? Why did you choose this?
Miriam?
Splash Mountain is unequivocally my favorite ride ever. I love it. I love everything about it. I love the picture. I love the drop. It's just my favorite. It's always been my favorite from the first time I went on it when I was 10 years old. It was my favorite ride then, and it's my favorite ride now.
So how do you feel about the retheme?
I feel like, I mean, I'm kind of gonna miss the zippity doo dah and the how you do it. I'm gonna miss the music, I think, but the main part of the ride doesn't change, and I really love the drop. I love that feeling of dropping. So any ride that has a drop is gonna be a ride that I like. But I particularly like the Splash Mountain drop because it's so drastic, and you really get that that feeling of falling, like you're jumping off of a cliff. That feeling of falling, you get that feeling, but you're on a ride instead of jumping off a cliff. So,
That's gotta be the biggest drop in the park, right? I mean,
oh yeah,
obviously Guardians of the Galaxy is a different kind of drop, but
yeah,
yeah, as far as just like a coaster style drop, I think it says, I think the sign inside says it's a 50-foot drop, but I think it's actually only 40, if I remember.
yeah. It's just
Definitely
like
definitely
that
the biggest
whole-
one and definitely the biggest drop at Disneyland. I think Expedition Everest might be bigger at Disney World. That is an amazing ride.
If you guys want to come back on and talk about Expedition Everest, let me know.
Absolutely.
That ride freaked my girlfriend's dad out so much. He did not know it went backwards, and he was not a fan of that.
Same thing with our children. So
Yeah, we didn't
we have
tell
that in
them it
common.
was backwards. They only went on it once.
Yeah, the thing about the retheme, like I said, or like you said, it's the same ride. Like it's the same mechanics, it's the same flow. Everything is the same. It's like seeing your friend wearing a different T-shirt and being like, "Fuck you, you're not the same person."
Fake Wayne.
Exactly. It's the same ride. It's just going to be themed differently. And I mean, and like for me, Lily, our oldest daughter, Princess and the Frog is one of her favorite movies. Tiana has always been her favorite princess. And so I'm kind of excited to go on it with her because it's her favorite thing. I mean, she loves Princess and the Frog. She loves Tiana. And so I know she's going to love that ride. And so it's going to motivate her to go on it with me, which is going to make me happy.
Nice. Rob, what are your thoughts on Splash Mountain? Just indifferent?
Yeah, I go on it because it makes her happy.
Aw.
I don't hate it by any means. I just prefer rides where I don't get wet. So
I have not been on it since I was, like I said, 15 or 16, because every time I go, either I'm with somebody who's like I said, I usually go in October. I go for the Oogie Boogie Bash. And usually my girlfriend is like, I'm not going on a water ride in October. It's just not going to happen.
but it's October in LA. It's still like 75 degrees.
Right? No,
Okay.
and then, like I said, this most recent time it was already closed for the changeover. So, yeah, I mean, my thoughts on the changeover, I don't know. It's like I said, the ride was not Song of the South. Yes, it had characters from Song of the South, but the whole thing, there was no Uncle Remus. It's all just about these critters, but it's always going to have that connotation. It's always going to have that affiliation. And so, you know, I don't care ultimately. If some people think it was offensive, then it was. That's all it is.
To me, it's pretty similar to when they changed the pirates in Pirates of the Caribbean, when before they were like, chasing women around and like looting and stuff, and then they changed all that because people were offended. I'm like, I don't care either way, but if some people cared, you might as well change it. Like, whatever. It's still the same ride at the end of the day.
Did you ever see the article from the guy who said that Disney ruined his children's childhood by changing Pirates of the Caribbean? Because they'll never get to see it the way it was meant to be. And I'm like, so wait, Disney ruined your kids' childhood because they don't get to see something they didn't know existed.
Correct. Yes.
People are weird.
That's very silly. People are super weird, especially Disney. Disney people are really weird.
Especially Florida people. Going back to like the people were, taking like stuffed rare rabbits and like putting flower rings around them and leaving them at the site. And like I said, stealing water. They were getting the plastic bags that they hand out for you to put your phone in, and they're filling them with water and selling them on eBay. Some woman said she named her child Brer, and so it was just so devastating that this ride was closing. And I'm like, it's not closing. It's just changing slightly.
And it's just Florida water. Like, why would you want to buy Florida water?
Yeah, what are you going to do with it?
Right?
You can't drink it. You can't. I don't know.
Also, with water, it's going to evaporate.
Eventually, it's going to be gone.
Oh my goodness, that's wild. I didn't realize people were doing that. That is absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, it was mostly in Florida. I think there was a little bit in California, but it was like a handful of people, whereas in Florida, it was like dozens.
Wild.
Insane.
Okay, well, I like Splash Mountain, but I don't like it like that.
Yeah, like I like the ride. I'd love to go on it again if I can convince my significant other to do so, or whoever I go to the park with. I am planning on taking my brother for the first time, so maybe I can convince him to go on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Just don't tell him what it's about and force him.
Yeah, don't mention the whole Splash Mountain part. No, it's Tiano's Bayou Adventure.
Exactly.
I don't know what Splash Mountain is. It's nothing. That ride's gone.
Yeah, this is a whole new
anymore.
It's a whole new ride.
That's right. All right. Well, you guys got any final thoughts?
So, Miriam, I think that you should share with everybody your story about how Splash Mountain almost caused you to be detained by the TSA at LAX.
Yes, absolutely. Tell this story.
Okay, so we'll finish up with my favorite Splash Mountain story of all time. My friend Tina and I went to LA for a 72-hour period in which we went to visit a friend for her birthday. We did all these things, and then we were going to go to Disneyland. We had from when the park opened, and we had to be on a plane in LAX at 9 p.m. And so we went to Disneyland. We did all the things. We went on Splash Mountain once in the beginning, but sat in the back so we wouldn't get wet. And then decided, and the picture was terrible. So we're like, we're going to go back on it, the last ride, and sit in the front. That picture. So we can get a good picture. By the way, the picture is amazing. I'll send it to you later. Get the great picture. And so we were on the ride at like 5:30. No, we got on the ride at 5:45. It was slightly delayed. We went on, did the thing, but then they were like taking a long time to unload people. And it was still 6:15, and we were still sitting on Splash Mountain. And our plane was leaving at 9 from LAX. So we're at that point, we're like, this is problematic. But we get out. We're like, okay, we'll run to the car. We ran to the car, got in the car, drove really fast back to the place, the rental car place, dropped off the car. We're thinking we can change. We're still soaking wet from Splash Mountain. We get our rental car. We're thinking, oh, we'll change before the shuttle gets there. The shuttle was there immediately. So we get in the shuttle. We're still soaking wet. We get in the shuttle. We're thinking, oh, we'll change before we get on the plane. It takes 45 minutes to get from the rental car place to our terminal at LAX because there's all this traffic. We are now like 10 minutes from our boarding time. We're like, we're not making this plane. We get in. There's no security. There's no line at security, which I've never seen in LAX before in my entire life. We get up to the front and they do the little roundy thing that checks you. And the lady says, yeah, the body scan. And she says, do you have anything in your pocket? And I said, no, there's no pockets in these pants. And then she says, well, look. And she points to the screen, and where my butt is all lit up with yellow, like there's something in my pocket. And I'm like, I'm wet. My underwear is wet. And she said,
is that how you phrased it?
Yeah. I told my underwear was wet.
No contact.
But then I launch into the fact that we were on Splash Mountain and we got super wet and we didn't have time to change. And it was this whole thing. And I know that like you've been to Southern California before, and you know that half the population loves Disney and half the population is super mad that you're there for it. And she was the latter. She was not having it. She was super annoyed with me. She ended up like taking gloves and like rubbing down my pants to make sure I hadn't soaked myself in an incendiary device. And so she gets through all these things, and then my friend Tina was behind me, who was also very wet. And the lady brings her over and just says, and she's completely deadpan, and it's hard for me to do without laughing, but she says, this one's wet too. I would also like to point out that this was in 2019, so we were in our mid-30s at the time. We're not young. And so then they had to check Tina's pants to make sure she wasn't gonna blow up the plane with her wet underwear. And then, and then we made it just in time to get on the plane. Yeah, so that's my story.
And so then you had to fly home in wet drawers.
We did finally get to change after we got there to our gate. They were still boarding people, and we were the very last boarding group. So we ran to the bathroom and changed, and then got on the plane.
That's a minor miracle that you even got on the plane.
Oh yeah,
That's how much she loves Splash Mountain, though.
There it is.
He was willing to
Yep.
risk it all.
Exactly.
I'll send you the picture so that you can see the reason for the story, and it was real good.
That's one more
You need a
question I
shirt.
have. Sorry, go ahead, Rob.
I was just gonna say she needs a shirt that says, "I risked the no-fly list for a photo on Splash Mountain."
I can make that for you.
Yeah, I know a guy.
Yeah, one more question before we go. Do you guys, when you're taking the picture, do you pose or you just do whatever comes natural?
What do you think? Rob poses.
Me?
Rob the poser all the way.
I try to do something. It changes every time.
I like to just do my natural reaction. So like whatever my face is going to do when I feel the drop, that's what I like to do.
We have I guess we did go on it. Maybe it was a different ride. But I always hate when you're on a ride with other people and they do some kind of stupid pose. And it's like, great, now I have this picture with these jackasses for the rest of my life.
I do have a really great one of our oldest daughter who is very, very tall. So when she was 5, she was tall enough to go on Splash Mountain, and I convinced her to go on it. And her facial expression in the picture it looks like somebody is murdering her. It is the best. That facial expression is the best facial expression I think I've ever seen on a Splash Mountain photo. It's so good.
Yeah, but it wasn't as good as the one that we got of her on Space Mountain when she had no idea what Space Mountain was.
Oh yeah,
and we made her go.
One too.
Yeah.
What was the Splash Mountain one posed, or just that was a natural reaction?
No, that's just her natural reaction. She was so terrible. It literally looks like someone is murdering her. Like, I actually felt kind of bad posting it because I look like I've done something terrible to her. She's like, she's so scared. Just so scared. It's so funny. Yeah, it's so funny. But our younger daughter, who is significantly shorter, was not tall enough to ride it until she was like 6 or 7. So I didn't get a great like little kid reaction from her because she was too little to ride it.
Yeah.
So, but Lily, because she was so tall, she may have been able to reach the height requirement, but maybe not the maturity to ride the ride requirement.
You'll have to send me these pictures.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna find them all. I'm gonna send them to you, and you're just gonna be like, "This is literally Miriam's obsession."
All right, guys. Well, thanks for doing this. Like I said, you're welcome back anytime. If you guys want to do
Thanks for having us
Expedition
on.
Everest or anything else, just let me know.
Indiana Jones.
It's been done.
Of course it has, because it's great.
That was Max.
Yeah, that tracks.
What about Space Mountain?
Space Mountain has not been done yet.
Okay. Well, I've been on that one 3 separate times because there's one in Hong Kong. So.
Okay. Well, I'll put that on the list then.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right. Do you guys have anything you want to promote before we go?
No. I mean, if anybody knows anybody who was going to buy or sell real estate, let me know.
All right. Well, thanks again, guys. And thank you at home for listening. And we will see you next time.
All right. Bye.
Your attention, please. This episode of Wild Mouse has concluded. Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite podcast player, and follow us on social media at Wild Mouse Podcast. Don't forget to visit the gift shop at wildmousepodcast.com. For exclusive bonus content, become a premium pass holder at patreon.com/wildmousepodcast. We hope you enjoyed your time, and will visit us again soon. Thank you, and good night.